Hello and welcome into another video, where today's video I'm going to be talking about how to get into beat 'em ups and where to start with beat 'em ups. And honestly, there's quite a few to choose from on the Switch too. There's the Turtles collection that you can get, which gives you some of the greatest Turtles games. There's Streets of Rage 4, which you can buy, but you can also play Streets of Rage 2 here for free on your Nintendo Switch Online subscription, essentially. If you want to actually start, Streets of Rage 2 might be a really good place. These aren't the sorts of games where you particularly need a story to actually get into them, and honestly, this is going to be a very quick video because there's not much depth to these games. These are kind of junk food gaming and comfort food gaming for a lot of people. They are definitely for me. They're something that I grew up on. It's when, without trying to go into like too deep, dark mental healthy here, sometimes when you were a kid and you needed to vent your frustration, you'd just put this on and beat people up. And that's always the way that people used to use fighters and beat them ups and things. Sometimes you just needed to wheel on some sprites when things were going wrong. But they're also the sort of game that you can actually, just totally dissociate to and still succeed in. You kind of need to focus a little bit because they are notoriously difficult in places, but for the most part, you're just mashing the attack button. There's not really much depth other than jumping and attacking, and sometimes you can do special moves, or you could do a combo of when you jump and attack in a different way. You could do a back punch, you can do like down attacks in the air. There's really not a lot to the depth of the combat here. The whole point is every attack is viable, and you can just quite literally beat the game only pressing the basic attack button the entire time. There really isn't much to these. So you might be thinking, why do people play them? And again, out of the aside mentioned that they're just so super easy to zone out to and play, they are actually fun. They're definitely an acquired taste. They're something that I think an older generation of gamer gets into, to be honest, but I have found newer, younger gamers who can get into things like this, and Castle Crashers is definitely a big reason why, which that is thankfully available on the Switch too. And if you want a side-scrolling beat 'em up with some actual depth, then the two that I need to mention are Castle Crashers, which is one of the absolute greatest games of all time. As far as I'm concerned, I love everything about it. It's got some humour to it. It's got so much to do with the actual gameplay, so many unlockables. It's also kind of got an RPG system, so you're leveling up your characters, so you can actually do more than just the basic attack, and you can unlock different weapons and things. It's kind of a mishmash of a bunch of things, but it is a beat 'em up at heart. But then you've got Absalom as well, which hopefully it's pronounced like that, which is a beat 'em up that's also a roguelike, whatever you want to actually see it. I do know the difference. It's just I also know that people are getting to the point of just call them rogues, and I'm fully with them, to be honest, because yeah, just call them rogues. They're so indistinguishable from each other, and only people who actually play them know the actual difference, that one carries progression and one doesn't. This does have progression, so it's a light. And Absalom is definitely a fun little beat 'em up, really, that you've got multiple different characters to play through. I know fine well they're doing an update with some DLC, which I think the DLC might be free. Maybe the update's even out by the time I'm recording this. I'm honestly not sure. I might need to check into that because I played the crap out of it, but I never actually got around to finishing it because it came out at a time where there were too many other things, and I kept thinking, well, of all the games that I can drop right now and get back into without any fear of, oh, well, I know what am I doing, like, what's going on, it's a beat 'em up. Yes, I'm going to know what I'm doing. I walk and I beat people up. That's basically it. But on top of Absalom and Castle Crashers, there's a ton of classics. I know through multiple different means you can play Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch too, but some of those might be from Mega Drive/Genesis collection, some of them might be from just the Nintendo Switch Online. I know you can play, I think only one of the Final Fights is available, but you can get it on a Capcom collection that has Final Fight, Captain Commando. There's a collection just came out with a Captain America game on it, so it kind of got mixed up in the brain, because there's also a Spider-Man collection. Like, seriously, there's an absolute fucking ton of these games available on your Switch too. But where you start is kind of up to you. It kind of depends on what you want, because Streets of Rage fans and Final Fight fans, these are original IPs, at least back in the day. They were, original, they were brand new, they were something that no one had ever played before. It might be harder to convince new people to get into these because you didn't grow up with them. Whereas, if you're a Spider-Man fan and you want to try the genre, getting into the Spider-Man collection that just came out, which I think is called the Maximum Collection, getting into that, and then moving into a Streets of Rage once you know the gameplay works for you. Playing something like the Rundown as well, Oh, The Takeover. That was it. I might be getting mixed up with. There was a movie that had similar thing as well, but the actual game is called The Takeover. It has nothing to do with the movie. It's just that I'm mixing up names here. The Takeover is a really great side-scrolling beat 'em up that was the people who went on to make Streets of Rage 4. But again, it's an original IP, it's a new IP, so start with something like Spider-Man, start with Turtles if you were into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Start there, see if you like the gameplay, and then move on to something like this. And yeah, I think I've managed to waffle on and make this a much longer vid than I actually intended, but it's because this was always going to be more a video about the actual recommendations than talking about the genre, because there's not much to it. That's why I like them. They're simple, and sometimes simple's all you need. It's like the same. There's so many cooking shows that you'll watch where everyone says the same thing, like competitions. If you're going to go simple, you best do it perfect. And side-scrolling beat-em-ups are something where now we're getting to that point where we're not really at perfect, but we're getting pretty close, because I used to love these games growing up anyway, and I still like going back to the older ones. But when I play an older Streets of Rage, I suddenly think, wow, Streets of Rage 4 is so much better in every way, isn't it? Because we've added stuff to it, and we get Absalom, and it's like they've added so much to that as well, to the formula. Like, we're getting to that point where beat-em-ups, I think, are no longer going to be the button-mashy zone-out game, but they're going to be a button-mashy zone-out game that's actually got some really, really great gameplay mechanics to it. And I'm really happy with how the genre's not just had a comeback, but had an evolution, because, I mean, there's things like Pokemon out there where Pokemon fans are still kind of waiting for that evolution, and they're hoping that Winds and Waves is going to be it. But yeah, I think I'm finally done, so I'm going to say it. Until next time, I've been Sky Fellowship. Hopefully something in this video has been useful to you. I knew it was going to be one of the harder ones to do, because, again, there's not much to them. If you like them, and you'll probably like everyone, even the bad ones are genuinely playable to you. If you don't like them, then I don't know what to say. They're not a franchise. They're not a genre, I mean, that's for everyone. And I know this. It's definitely one of those that, it's the whole boomer shooter thing. These are like an unk game, like whatever people want to call about anything that's old. They're definitely an old game. Yeah, anyway, until next time, I truly do hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.